I think I can comfortably say that never in U.S. history have we had a right-wing group that is so radical and pretty much violent have so much power in the United States. That isn't to say that Nazis don't exist in this country. They definitely do. And this isn't to say that state violence and racism and these other forms of violence don't count. They also do. But one that is openly against the democratic institutions of the United States has never had this much power. And I think it sets a precedent to what's coming in 2024. Let's look at a news clipping from Yahoo, which is only quoting President Trump. Well, sorry, former President Trump. I'm definitely not advocating that he won the 2020 election. Don't twist my words. All right, so let's look at that. Trump calls for the biggest protest we have ever had in D.C. and other cities if prosecutors investigating him do anything illegal. Speaking at a Texas rally, former President Donald Trump called for nationwide protests if prosecutors investigating him and his businesses do anything illegal. In the speech, he appeared to link the investigators to his business claims that the 2020 election was rigged, which led to the January 6th Capitol riot. If these radical, vicious, racist prosecutors do anything wrong or illegal, I hope we're going to have in this country the biggest protests we've ever had in Washington, D.C., in New York, in Atlanta, and elsewhere, because our country and our elections are corrupt, Trump told the crowd in Conroe, Texas, on Saturday night. Look, I don't want to talk about that specifically. I think we all know what Trump is like and that Trump is a fascist. But what I do want to talk about is the implications to 2024. The Democrats are going to run anyone. I don't know who they're going to run. Frankly, it's not important right now because the right-wing notion that if Trump runs again, there is a poll showing that less than 30% of Republicans will vote for a Republican candidate that acknowledges that Biden won the 2020 election. We have massive distrust in American elections in this country, mostly coming from the right, which was perfectly planned and implemented by fascist Trump. He used COVID-19 and the Democratic fear of COVID-19, who were predominantly going to vote from home, as a basis to destroy any trust of his base of the election because of the at-home mailing voting. His party is also responsible for a significant amount of death due to vaccine hesitancy and disregard for public health policies. We're looking at I truly believe is a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous party. So, in 2024, what will happen? Well, Trump could, or whoever, I think it's definitely looking clear that Trump is going to run in 2024. The Republican base that has been purged slowly of people who dismiss Trump as a loony, basically by the base who has said they will not vote for candidates, and then Trump endorsing the candidates that do back his looniness. I'm just going to simply sum it up as that, looniness. The Republican Party has been purged. Right-wing media is slowly taking on and pushing those conspiracy theories about the election. We're mostly talking about Fox News, Tucker Carlson, and so forth. And so in 2024, there is a strong precedent for the Republican Party to argue that, you know what, they just might try this again. I don't think the Republican Party as a whole is going to do it, but I think Trump is definitely going to do it. They might just try this again. Don't push it past them. Don't put it past them. They're going to continue investigating him. I don't see that going away. They now have a president of their leader being a target of the deep state, or however this conspiracy is going to go. And we're going to see movements from the left who are going to want to suppress this right-wing movement. And we're definitely, if we're going to keep continuing seeing this violent political rhetoric, we're going to see right-wingers in the street demanding that Trump be, God only knows, elected rightfully so because it is his rightful place. People who are definitely being fooled We're going to see those in the group. And we're also going to have militant groups. Keep in mind, remember January 6th. There are plenty of militant groups who were there, present, armed. I don't know what that means for violence, but there is a significant domestic terrorist threat from right-wing violence in this country. This is precedent from the Oklahoma City bombings and so forth and so forth. Right-wing violence is definitely a threat. They are armed, and they can, especially if fueled by this sort of rhetoric, will and maybe want to take action against whatever perceived threat they're being fed. And this is the biggest it's ever gotten. So we may have a significantly large group of people who think they are rightfully fighting for whatever they believe in and may act on violence against leftists in this country. We saw the rhetoric in the Trump presidency, and we're seeing that it's only getting worse moving forward. So, this is what fascism looks like when it takes control in the United States. I don't know the answers to these problems or whatever. I just want to point out that what looked like a worst case scenario for 2024 with this kind of statements coming from Trump is looking more and more likely. And the left, would that be a whole sway of progressive socialists, whoever, or just Democrats? If you're a Democrat, you're labeled a socialist already. It doesn't matter. The rhetoric's worked quite well. You should be prepared in some ways to defend yourself. I'm not saying that a civil war is coming, but again, what does it look like? It can never happen here. No, that can never happen here. No, we would never have a fascist here. No, that could never happen, right? It's always the American way. No, that won't happen here. Either way, that's what I wanted to talk about. Just to sum up the implications for this kind of statement, this kind of rhetoric. Because it's getting more and more dangerous, and as we approach 2024, it will only continue to hype and ramp itself up. So, prepare yourselves. I think keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on what the right is doing. Definitely don't turn a blind eye to this, because 2024 is coming, one day at a time. Thank you for listening, everyone. Appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next one.